Greetings, everyone. This is Tracy Allen, and today I am sharing with you someone that is awesome. I love this term that he says, this terminology. I guess that's a good way of putting it. I have Dr. Anthony Stroman, who always talks about checking your headquarters. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that that's a great way of kind of self-reflecting, making sure that you're getting yourself in check. And so your headquarters, your big boss. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself and share a little bit about who he is and what is your headquarters all about. Dr. Stroman.
Hey Tracy, thank you so much for having me on this platform with you, my friend. I,
Yes.
I appreciate being with you again. And a little background about myself: I have been in two main areas for many, many years, and those two areas are health and wellness and financial education. I'm a former banker, worked in the financial area for many, many years. I also worked in the health and wellness industry for many, many years. And so one day I woke up and said, you know what? Since you have a passion for both of these areas, why don't you combine them together? And that's when the crusade was birthed. And so we started a crusade around the country. Now we're getting ready to go global to focus on mastering those two areas. Okay. And then it came to me one day, why do people don't do what they know they need to do? And I meditated on that. And then the revelation dropped in my spirit is because they haven't mastered headquarters. Because some of the things that we say all the time, we've heard it before. I can talk about finances, I can talk about health. Nothing is new under the sun.
Right.
But what happens is we struggle with why people don't do it. And so we have to rewind the tape, if you will. And I discovered the reason why, because you can know something and still not do it. Okay. Knowing and doing is two different things. If people get that confused, Tracy, say, oh, I know that. I know that. It doesn't matter what you know.
Hmm.
It only matters what you do as far as execution. And so when I started thinking about it and thinking about it, and I said, okay, wait a minute. It came to me. It's because people haven't mastered headquarters. And here's the example I use a lot in different seminars and workshops that I do, just on the health side, if we can just talk about that for a second. When somebody says, I want to be healthy, it's easy to say it. Simple, easy. Oh, it's easy to say it. But the only way that you're going to do that if you master headquarters. Now, if I can elaborate a little bit more on that, I break down Tracy headquarters in really three areas.
Okay.
Okay. It's a lot of different directions where we can go, but for sake of time, there is the spiritual side I call of headquarters, there's the mental side, and there's the physical side. Because I don't care what you do in life, what your career is, your business, family, I don't care what it is, where we are right now in our lives, it's based on decisions that we made in the past.
Hmm.
Okay. And that came from your system of thinking. People don't think about what they think about. I hope you
Hmm.
caught that. They don't think about what they think about.
Right.
We all have a system of thinking. And if your system is corrupt, you're going to have corrupt communication and the results is going to be the same way. So
Hmm.
it's raising your conscious level to realize, let me focus and master headquarters, because if I master headquarters, then I'll do the disciplines of walking, eating, whatever that goal that you might have. You're going to do it. When you do it, you begin to build what I call mental muscle in your mind. And then you create what I call momentum. It becomes easier and easier and easier to do it. Then you reach to a point and say, you know what? You wake up one day, I walk every day, I eat the same every day that's good for me, I do these good disciplines every day. Guess what? You need to get an award because you have just crossed the threshold of mastering headquarters.
Okay. Now let
And
me
that's
ask you a question. Let me pause you for a brief
sure.
moment here. So you're saying that there's three components of
Hmm.
headquarters: spiritual,
Hmm.
the mental,
Hmm.
and physical.
Yes.
All right. So now tell me about the spiritual part first. Let's start there. How does that factor into headquarters?
Well, as you all know, as a man thinketh, so is he or she. And so when you're praying, when you're meditating on the word of God, when you're worshiping God, studying the word of God, focusing on the word of God, that has a powerful effect on your mind. Okay.
Mhm.
Because nothing changes until your mind changes. So we always see everything physical started from the spiritual.
Right.
You got to start from there. So therefore, when you adopt the focus of let me make sure my spiritual mindset is right, then your reaction, what do? This decision that you're going to make will be a lot much better. So I tell people all the time, you got to focus on studying those things. You can't just say, I am spiritual. Well, guess what? Do you put any intention to it and are you focusing on it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And once you focus on it and you develop the habit and the discipline, and all of a sudden your mind is going to get in line because now you're in alignment. That's the term I use all the time. You are in alignment with your creator,
Mm-hmm.
and that affects you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's number one.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's interesting about what you said there, just kind of thinking about what we're taught when it comes to our creator, the Bible and all of that, is the fact that it always says to start with him first.
That's right.
Start
There
with
you
him
go.
first.
It's all
So,
about priority. It's all about priority. That's why he said we're made in his image.
mm-hmm.
And the first action word he created, and guess what? Creativity comes from him, and therefore we are creative creatures.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same DNA,
Mm-hmm.
right? If
Mm-hmm.
we adopt that mentality, we're made an exact duplicate in kind. That's what it means. So we got that same ability to create. We have it. Okay. But if we don't know that, that's why know thyself is so very important. Okay.
Love it.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so being connected to that is critically important because what happens is I used to do workshops with kids and I used to ask them the difference between needs and wants. Well, guess what? Grown-ups are the same way.
Yeah.
They don't know the difference between a need and a want. So I ask the kids, hey, do you need a TV in the room? Is that a need or a want? Oh, that's a need. They think it's a need. Grown-ups do the same thing. They, and it's all fuzzy in their mind, and that's why they make wrong decisions because life is about decisions. Everything we do, where we are right now, based on decisions that we made in the past, and all we want better decisions, we have to just better thinking. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I call it mind management.
Okay.
You got to manage your mind, your thought life every single day. You got to make it a lifestyle. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
therefore, when you make it a lifestyle, you are protected from something called DTI, and that stands for destructive thoughts and ideas because they're coming at us every day, Tracy.
Right.
You must have a filter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, me personally, I'm allergic to negative people. See, that's one of my filters.
Uh-huh.
I'm allergic. Okay.
Right.
So therefore, I have a filter to filter, and somebody don't even know that I'm doing it because I protected my mind so well. Because you have to guard your heart and your mind.
Yes.
I don't let that stuff get in my mind. Even when somebody's talking to me, it's almost like I have a shield around my mind because I train myself to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so therefore, the spiritual side is always number one. Everything is about priority.
Mm-hmm.
When you put things in priority and you in alignment, life is so sweet, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
When we get out of alignment, that's when we get into trouble.
Okay.
Okay, so destructive thoughts and ideas. And where do we get them from? TV, internet, radio. All the time we're bombarded. And
Mm-hmm.
there's certain things I won't even listen to. And when I hear the title of something, I know I can't put that in my spirit.
Yeah.
So you got to protect your mind every day. Okay. So
Okay.
that's the spiritual side, making sure you focus a lot on that. And I'm gonna give you a little tip at the very end to help you with your mind a little bit here. But that's the spiritual side. That got to be number one.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So number two is
The mental.
let me just say
Oh,
this. So on the mental, let me ask you this because it's such a hot topic. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, I wasn't hearing as much as I hear as I do now about mental health. And
oh,
so with so many people experiencing mental health issues, how can mastering the headquarters work for someone that's dealing with mental health issues?
okay. Now, mental health issues is a very, very sensitive topic. I'm going to address that in a second because
Okay.
it's gonna tie into well two parts. Let me kind of move ahead a little bit, Tracy. It ties into two parts. Here's two things I know. I know if you speak the word, what I call the power of positive confession,
The power of
even with
positive
the
confession.
power of positive confession, that's what you need to do when you're communicating with somebody who's having a challenge in that area because they're hearing. But the word is so powerful that when you engage in the power of positive confession, even when somebody has a mental challenge, it's breaking down the walls in that person's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's the power. That's how powerful the word is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now there's another part to it, which is the third part of headquarters. Just let me interject that so this makes sense. Many people don't realize on the physical side of headquarters, it affects the mental side
Mm-hmm.
because so many people that have mental challenges, we discovered, especially with the holistic doctors that I work with, is because of their diet, it affects their brain function. So therefore, they're hindered and affected, if you will, is because they're not getting the good fats in their brain to help them to think the correct way and to have what I call divine thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So all three are so critically important. That's why when I'm doing it and I break it down on the physical side, I said, listen, I mean, you look at a walnut. What does it look like, Tracy? It looks like your brain.
Brain, right.
And guess what? Walnuts are good for the brain.
Right.
Okay? Avocado, you know what that is. You know that's good for the brain. Berries are good for the brain. So we have to be conscious what's good for the brain and then know what's destructive to the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know what that is. The bad things are destructive to the brain. So therefore, people have mental decline and mental challenges. Let me give you a survey in the penal system. They had prisoners eating a certain meal and they were violent. When they changed the diet, Tracy, violent crimes was reduced by 70%.
Mm.
This is so important that people got to understand. Sometimes relationships, domestic situations, all kind of things are happening. I'm impatient, I'm mad, I'm angry, all these different things. A lot of time, my sister, it's the diet, but they're not aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we try to bring to their conscious level, let them know the three parts of headquarters. You have to have all three. It's almost like a three-legged stool, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
You have a three-legged stool. If you remove one of the legs, what happens?
And you're gonna
Uh,
fall down.
exactly. Exactly. So your mind is the same way. That's why you have to make it a study. Anything that you want to be good at, you got to make it a study.
Right.
But we're not taught to make it a study. We're taught to keep being busy and going and going and going, and people are just stressed out and worried because they haven't sat down and say, let me make this a study. I'm going to master headquarters today. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a reward. One thing I know for sure, when you do it, the reward, you can't put a dollar price on it. When
No.
you conquer headquarters, because your life is going to be transformed. Because your mind's supposed to be transformed, but when you actually do it and get the manifestation of it, you can't put a dollar price on the reward. Okay. And I was teasing somebody the other day when I was having a conversation, even about, the rewards that you get when you do the right thing. There's rewards when you do the right thing, right, Tracy?
Right.
So, for example, when you know you ate two pies and you know you had no business of eating two pies at one setting,
Right.
right?
Right.
So now, what happens? Here's the mind. Once you finish taking that last slice, what do you say? Oh my God, why did I eat all of that? You start beating yourself up, your mind, right?
Right.
You start beating yourself up. Then you start feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Okay, now you don't even enjoy your taste buds that left you a long time ago because you you feel bad because you ate. You know you wasn't supposed to eat all of that. Now the opposite is true. When I get a slice of pie, let me not even talk about pies right now. Let's just say I eat a piece of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? The reward, the mental reward, because I ate that fruit, knowing that I did something to take care of my $1 billion temple.
Mm-hmm.
So physically, I feel good because the apple is good for my system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Psychologically, I feel good because I know I ate something that's good for my $1 billion temple. So when I go to bed at night, I'm feeling like a billionaire because I did something good. When
Mm-hmm.
we do something that's not right, we condemn ourselves. You know that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
See ourselves.
you remember, look. Who remembers the question, the commercial that used to come on? Now I'm gonna date myself, but
Uh-oh.
remember, I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Tracy. And that's where that control comes in because see, I teach people, Tracy, that most people need an accountability partner
Mm-hmm.
because people don't do what's expected, they do what's inspected
Mm-hmm.
because they mean well. They want to do the right thing, Tracy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you need an accountability partner if you don't have the discipline.
Right.
And so when people ask me, Anthony, how long you been walking? I said, I've been doing it for 40 something years.
Hmm.
Okay. Because I developed the muscle. It's a second nature to me. Okay. But if people are patient, that's the key word, Tracy. People get impatient, but if you
Right.
patient in 90 days or more, you'll look back and say, oh my goodness, I got this thing beat. And
Right.
you feel victorious. You feel amazing. When you conquer, because that's what we are. We're supposed to be overcomers and conquerors.
Right.
It's a wonderful reward. That's why I'm always talking about once you do mind management, control your thought life.
Hmm.
Realize that you have the ability to control. I don't have to be mean. You can be nice.
Hmm.
You can be evil, or you can be good. I mean, it's a choice. We do have the power of choice.
Hmm.
When you make the right choice, there's a reward that you cannot imagine when you make the right choice. When we do the wrong thing, condemnation, right, Tracy?
You're right. You're right. So I just want to let you know that we are going to wrap it up here in about another 5 minutes or so. So go ahead and continue on, but I just wanted to point out we'll be finishing up soon.
Excellent. Well, let me give everybody a listening audience a little exercise to help them out, okay?
Okay.
Because sometimes people don't realize how negative they are. They don't realize it.
Mm,
They don't, they're walking around and don't realize how much negative things that's coming out. You're supposed to be making good confessions all the time, right? But they don't realize it because it's a habit. So
right.
here's an exercise for your for your viewers. Get you a rubber band, put it on your wrist, and every time a negative thought comes to your mind, pop yourself. Okay? At the end of the day, you're gonna have a whelp on your wrist. And you do that for 30 days, your behavior will change.
Now that look, that takes some serious discipline to be popping myself.
That's right.
But for me, fortunately, I don't think I have too many negative thoughts. But for
Not
someone to be honest, yeah,
Tracy, not you. I know you are OQP, only quality people. You are the exception to the rule. That's you,
thank,
Tracy.
thank you. Well, wonderful. Now I think there was something else that you were going to share. Now, and let me just kind of point out the reason that I wanted to do this live with you is because I think every time I hear you speak, you and I can get into some really good conversations. And every time I listen to you speak, I'm like, God, the world needs to know about this. And so this was a segment I'm just kind of experimenting with called The World Needs to Know About You, Dr. Anthony Stroman. And on the Mupo Entertainment Network, it would be awesome for you to be there. So for those of you as well, you're included. For those of you that would like to be on the Mupo Entertainment Network and have your own TV show, then you'll connect with me down there at the bottom. There it has mupo.digital, and I don't even know my site, mupo.digitalmarketingsupply.com. You can go to that link, be able to sign up and, learn more and all of that jazz. And so I would just like to see more folks because I know some extraordinary people, and you, Dr. Stroman, you are definitely one. We are on the same vibe on so many things, and I just love your positive energy and stuff. So I want you to go ahead and wrap up with any more words that you want to give, any more words of wisdom.
Well, I'll leave you with this. There's a thing that I do every Monday. We focus on mindset every Monday for business people, and it's called the Universal Principle of Success. And what I do for 25 minutes, we work on headquarters, and I give solid principles. And that's what I love about principles, Tracy, because they're universal.
Hmm.
They work all the time. And so here's the thing. Here's the takeaway. Success is predictable. So is failure.
Hmm.
Success is predictable. So if you ever want to get on that class that I do about universal principles of success, because that's what I do. I just talk about 25 minutes on headquarters. We cover a lot in that session because I'm here because I know that's what we talked about today, Tracy. Again, we can talk about 20 areas of our lives. Everything goes right back to what we talked about in the beginning of the screen.
Right.
Mastering headquarters, and then you're going to have good success.
Hmm.
Once you do that, you're going to start living the good life, right, Tracy?
That's right. And so that you do that on a phone call, right? People have
Yeah,
to
but the
dial
whole,
in.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 25 minutes, and we're getting feedback from all across the nation. Matter of fact, somebody the other day told me their business increased by a certain percentage because of that class.
Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so, what I will share with you guys is if you want to connect with Dr. Stroman, you can just say something in the comments, and then that way it'll be easy for you to, leave your questions, or Dr. Stroman can put his information in the comments and stuff, and that way we can get back to you. I know you got something else coming up before I let you go. You've got something coming up regarding breast cancer or something like that.
Yes, ma'am. On the 28th of August at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, we put together what we call the power of cancer prevention. All we hear in our nation is treatment, treatment, treatment. Not knocking that. But my philosophy has always been prevention. And I say it this way, Tracy, it's less painful and less expensive. Because not only the human cost, but the economic cost is staggering. So
Mhm.
what we're doing around the world is changing the narrative and say, why don't we get ahead of the deal and prevent it as much as we possibly can so people don't have to suffer.
Mhm. Mhm.
Families don't have to suffer. So that's the mentality I'm shifting people into. Prevention, prevention, prevention is the new treatment, Tracy.
Right.
Prevention is the new treatment. And that's the 28th. And everybody's welcome. It's going to be a virtual
Okay.
stream.
Will you be able to put like a link down there, or how should people connect with you so that they can,
I'm
join
gonna
it if they like?
I'm gonna do two things. I'll send the link to you, and then anybody can call me too. I don't mind because I'm here to help people. That's my mission, to help people to raise
Okay.
the standard of living. So they can
Okay.
call me on my cell phone, and I'll be happy to send them the link. Be more
Okay.
than happy to do that, Tracy.
Cool. 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 Then I'm going to put you. Um, I'm going to allow you to put your number in the chat, and then that way folks can connect with you. How's that?
Go ahead, type it in there for me. You got it.
Type it. Okay, I'll type it in. I try
You know
not to
my
do
number.
too much on the live. I mess things up sometimes. But if anybody has any questions, you've heard it here, Dr. Anthony Stroman. Get your headquarters together. Um,
Hey,
I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me for a little bit here on this Friday afternoon. And I am wishing you an awesome rest of your day.
well, I love being with you, Tracy, and all your listening audience. May God bless you to live long and to live strong.
Awesome. Yes, likewise, likewise. So thank you. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And we are going to close out. Like I said, if you want to have your own show with the Mupo Entertainment Network, do it. Do it. It's only $2.99 until Saturday. I think Saturday is the last day you can get it at $2.99. Now after that, it goes up to $7.99, which is still not a bad deal because that's for the whole year. No monthly fees. You get the magazine, the radio. There's so much. Oh my gosh. And Michelle Mupo is the founder of the Mupo Entertainment Network. So I'm going to close out with this little promo video here, and I will talk with you guys another time. And thank you again, Dr. Anthony
Thank
Stroman.
you, my friend. Good to see you, Tracy. God bless you, my
Bye.
friend.
Blessings to you.
You thought I was playing? Huh.